So we go to 2-0, 49-22 win over Woodward. Now we get ready for our next game, which is this coming Friday at 7 p.m.
That's right.
7:30 p.m. And that's in the state of Kentucky. We're going to Boone County.
Yeah. And, Boone's, they were down a little bit last year. They're better than they were. Got a really big tight end, about 270. I think he's committed to Miami already, and supposedly going to play offensive tackle there. But he's a big, strong kid. They got about 220-pound running back that was their fullback last year, so they're going to, pound us with him. He's going to probably carry the ball 30-plus times, because they're a run-oriented team. The quarterback is a decent runner. He's the coach's son. He's a smart kid, and they have pretty good size on the offensive line. So we got our challenges trying to defend them to stop the run so that they don't control the clock and keep our offense on the sidelines. Defensively, they'll base out of a 4-3, but do some other things, and they're just solid on defense. There's no superstars over there, but they play pretty well together, and hopefully we're able to run our offense effectively and score some points, and maybe if we can get ahead of them, make them throw the ball more than they want to, because they're not a passing team. Their strong suit's running the football.
Now they are 2-0. They're undefeated also, right?
They beat
2-0.
They beat Henry Clay out of Lexington, like 25-16 maybe, something like that, and then they beat Scott County. I think it was 15-9, and they were behind early in both those games and came back. Both those teams were pretty athletic teams that they played, so they're having a nice year so far, 2-0, and then we have to go over to their place. It's on natural field, and their coach told me when we traded films the field was not in good shape because of the heat this summer's really hurt it's a bluegrass field, and I guess it just didn't grow very well, and had some soccer games on it, and it's really is kind of worn down already. So we practiced on the grass today, try to get used to that a little bit, and kids seem to do fine with it, so hopefully we'll be okay Friday.
Last year when we played them, Boone County has always been known as one of the better teams in Northern Kentucky. We didn't know what really to expect. We played them, and of course last year we were awfully strong. We beat them pretty bad. Was it 62-14?
Something like that. It's pretty close.
Yeah, they had a little speed. The running back had some athleticism. He got loose on a long run for them early, and but I think they weren't prepared for how physical we were on our offensive line last year, and we were able to run the football pretty well. And as you mentioned, we were a good team last year, and so it's a much more even matchup this year. It really is, and we need to play well on the road. We don't really know what to expect. We haven't ever played in Kentucky before, so our kids are going to really have to work on keeping their poise and their concentration level where we need it to be effective.
So what do you think is the big difference between last year's Boone County team and this year's?
I don't think they have the speed at the tailback position, but they have the ability to just keep grinding it out. Whereas I don't think they had that as much last year. So they're more of a power running team this year. I wouldn't be surprised if they come out in the power eye and double tights early in the game and just try to run it down our throats, because they are going to be a little bigger. Their offensive line will be bigger than our defensive line. Now their defensive line's just average size, and we may have a little advantage there with our offensive line. But that's our big concern is how well we are going to be able to stop the run against them.
And they see the running back that you're talking about. I'm trying to remember who the guy was last year, the big back. But they have a guy that he's kind of a double threat. He was, I think, their leading receiver last year, I believe, like 217 yards. But he also had 9 touchdowns last year. I think it's Oppenheimer or something.
Yeah, that's the running back.
And he's a pretty decent ball player.
Yeah, he's a real good ball player. He really is. So, we've got to be concerned about him. They'll sneak him out in the flat every now and then, throwing the ball. And he was their fullback last year, so that's where he was catching probably a lot of his yardage off their play action stuff. But he's a tough kid, and he carried it, I think, 37 times in the one ball game they had. So it's
right.
He's used to carrying the mail, so we got to be ready for him.
I think the other key thing, like you've had in years past, is you've had a lot of seniors. I think they've got 22 seniors, so I think that's going to help them a little bit too.
Oh, it will. Anytime you have a lot of seniors playing, it's a benefit, because they're 17, 18 years old, and you're playing against 15, 16-year-old sophomores and juniors. Which is what we are basically. So it's going to be a little bit of a physical mismatch, but hopefully our speed can help us, and we can counteract their size and strength with our speed.
Yeah, the one guy that you did talk about, he's kind of a double threat. I think he's going to play defense, like you said, is Brown, that Trevian Brown or whatever his name is. He plays linebacker as well as a tight end, so he's going to be a tough guy too.
He's a big kid. He's 6'4", 6'5", 270 pounds. I think he was 240 last year. He's gained a lot of weight. And, you know, he's a big body out there, and he's going to block down on us. They use a lot of block down schemes and kick out and run the power, and they're very good at what they do. They're simple on offense, but they're very efficient and very well coached on those schemes.
What do you think is the big key to this game to come out with a win?
I think we need to get off to a good start, get out ahead of them. I think if that happens, then our kids will feel confident. Their kids will be a little bit concerned that the same thing that happened last year could occur. The longer that it remains a close game, they're going to believe they can beat us, and they've got the home crowd and home field advantage and those kind of things. So we're really wanting to play well early on in all phases of the game.
I can remember last year, after that game, walking to the car afterwards, there was some Boone County parents in the parking lot, and they were like, "What the heck are we doing playing this team? This is a state championship team. What are we doing over here playing an Ohio State championship team?"
Well, they've been to Kentucky State championships before too, so they have a proud tradition, and they're just in a little bit of a down cycle right now. But I think they're coming back. With like you said, with having 22 seniors and things like that, and being 2-0, they found a way to win those first two games. So, it'll be a dogfight.
Well, we finally have our times for our show. Our games are going to be on Friday night at 11:30, Saturday at 4, Sunday at 2:30, and then Tuesday at 8 p.m. These will all be on Channel 18. Our Redskin Review show will be on Friday at 11, Saturday at 6:30, Sunday at 5, and then also Tuesday at 11 p.m. So it's kind of a little bit of a difference. It doesn't follow each other like it used to in the past. Only the one on looks like Friday night is the only one that does that. But still, I think the kids like to watch that on Friday night. So that's a pretty big thing. And real quick, while I got the time is we got this stuff going on with the Alumni Association. Here's the football that you can get that we can put on the wall. I believe that's going on the wall, correct?
Right. We're going to try to have the ones we have up by the next home game.
So here's obviously what it looks like, and then also the other thing that we have is the card that John Raymond has made up, and what this card does is you have to obviously pay to get into the game, but this will get you down on the field.
Right,
so it's our Anderson Football Alumni Association card.
Right. We're trying, like I said, trying to make it more friendly for former players to be there and gather in the end zone in a special area on the far side and around the pole vault pit and things like that. And hopefully it keeps working and gets bigger and bigger. And
the one last thing is what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to have everybody meet somewhere for the after one of the Anderson games. And I think the one we were thinking about was maybe after the Glenville game. We'll see if that's going to fit with everybody, and if it doesn't, we'll try to shoot for another game. So we're going to try to actually get people together for that too as well. Yeah, that's on a Saturday. The Glenville game will be on a Saturday. Is that 7:30 Saturday? It's 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. Yes. Okay. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks to everybody who makes this broadcast along with the games possible. John Raymond, our producer, in there calling the shots from the control room. We appreciate it. Thanks to the Anderson football moms, and thanks to Denise White for the grub we had this week up there, along with the highlights. Me and Danny put a big hole in the grub. I think I had about 10 of those hot dogs, I think. Thanks to the folks at Anderson Community Television for use of their studio and the times that we put the games on. We appreciate it. And as always, to our crew, it's been together forever. Our spotter, Ed Barth, our statman, Steve Martin. Statman. There you go. And our cameraman, Tim Huntington. And Steve is not going to be there for this Boone County game, but Ed will be there, and Tim will be doing camera. So we'll be all set to go. And then some of the new guys, Mike Ramirez, obviously former player, and Dan Beinecke, former players that are helping out, doing some of the new things that make it better. So we appreciate all their help, and obviously Denise White. Absolutely. So, Coach, good luck this week. Hope to come out with another win. Thanks. I hope so, too. Anything else, Dan? Nope. All right. For Dan Albers and Jeff Giesing, I'm Greg Ellis. Thanks for joining us on Redskin Review.